This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle relationship reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies you may have been experiencing in the previous days, how you're feeling right now, and we're going to take a sneak peek at the upcoming days. So in the comments, I would love to hear what your word of the day is or word of the week, what's happening in your own energy, in your connection. What's the general vibe? You know, there's so many things that I could tell you right now, and I'm trying to figure out the right words. It has been quite the week, and I say that respectfully. It's been a tough time emotionally, I think, for a lot of people. You know, how many of you have noticed that you've been hit with tower moments or small things over a period of time where you're like, oh my goodness, like what the heck, what's going on? Give me a break. I think there's so many tests. I think there's emotions running high. And I know we say that often, right? There's always something. You know, somebody said to me yesterday, my goodness, there's always something in the astrology. It's the moon this or the moon that. And yeah, it is, you know, and that's something that we navigate as we go. There's always going to be tensions. But my point about that topic is we're human. We feel what we feel. But every day's a new day. I've always been a believer of that. The sun always rises. This too shall pass. We have to recognize that, yeah, we're going to have things come at us at the same time. It's how we navigate through this that matters most. Not always what happens, it's how we respond to it. Do we make the boundaries? Do we maintain the boundaries? Do we recognize why things are happening for us, not necessarily to us? I think part of this energy right now is that a lot of people are tired. You know, the solar flares, solar storms, all of this heavy energy makes us feel tired and just over things. And I have been talking about this on my lives recently where the full moon in Sagittarius came up for me a couple months ago at a full moon Zoom that I was doing. And I was trying to process those feelings because, you know, it was 2 months ahead of time. It wasn't really on my radar yet, but I could kind of feel the beginning stages of it, or just something important about these dates. And, you know, the full moon in Sagittarius is coming up on May 23rd. And I've come to a conclusion based on my experiences lately and channeling that this is going to be a very intense moon. And the reason I believe that is because Sagittarius energy in general is truth-seeking, freedom-seeking, it's adventure, but it's also an energy that is quite stubborn, right? Sagittarius people will tell you they don't like to be told what to do. So when there's a bit of tension in the air, it can get interesting, we'll put it that way, right? And then you've got to think about the fact that we will be in Gemini season. What is Gemini energy? Well, it's communication, it's anxiety, it's worry, it's how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? It's the who, what, when, where, why, and how, and the head hits the pillow at night, and all we can do is think about all these different facets that need to be taken care of. And then on top of that, add the moon element, right? Oh, it's a full moon. A full moon is purging and surrendering and letting go of things, but it's also about revelations. The moon lights up the dark sky. It reveals things. And when I put all of these energies together, I get truth, revelations, and communication. So to me, we're in this energy that's building to something coming to light, whatever that is, with whomever, okay? Now, we are going to do a full moon Zoom next week, I believe on the Friday. I think that is the 24th of May. I haven't posted on my website yet, but I will be. If you'd like to join the full moon Zoom, it's basically a 2-hour general collective reading about the energies, and you receive a recording of it. Plus you get your own personalized moon reading that gets delivered to you by the next new moon. Anyways, if you've been feeling the energies, I would just call the word a little bit pissy. You know, we're angry, we're tense, sad, emotional, and I think wounds are coming to the surface, you know, and I do think that there's going to be this truth that comes out to liberate us, even if it's going to be difficult. So again, I invite you to let me know what's going on in your world. So I decided to use the Moonology cards first for some overall messages because Again, I think we're already feeling this full moon. Now, don't get me wrong. The astrology actually for the end of May is pretty decent. You know, we're talking about, you know, this Jupiter energy of luck and growth and expansion. And, you know, there's a lot of nice things possibly coming our way. Again, it's how you navigate, and it is all about perspective. You know, so let's get back to what are the overall themes and messages, starting with the Moonology deck here. Meditate and contemplate. Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, you have a lot on your mind. And meditate and contemplate means, yeah, think some things through. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Maybe you actually need some meditation to process or to calm yourself or to ground the energy, because it does feel like it is tense. Now let's take an inner child oracle card, because I do feel like there's some inner childhood wounds that are coming to the surface. And we have here, let love guide you. Choose to see the good in the world today. You know, it's interesting. I just said this to you. It's all about perspective, you know, how you handle something. There's ways that can benefit you and ways that don't benefit you. And again, I invite people to ask themselves, do you want short-term gain, long-term pain, or short-term pain, long-term gain? How you process something dictates what's going to happen next, right? So if you're in the present moment and you're saying, okay, I got to do this for my greater good, then that's a great way to look at it. But if you're avoiding and you're sweeping under the rug and you're taking a short-term gain, well, that's up to you, but it's not going to make things easier in the long run, right? So let's take a Divine Goddess love card as well here and see what we need to know. And we have hidden. Reveal the beauty beneath the surface. I'm just laughing to myself because it says reveal. And I said revelations, meaning something is going to come to the surface, something that may have been hidden. Now, what has been hidden may not be a bad thing. I mean, again, we have no way of knowing until we cross that bridge. It's all in how we react, right? But sometimes good luck is bad luck is good luck. You have no way of knowing until you cross that bridge. You can perceive something to be a certain way, but that doesn't mean that's exactly how it is. I do believe that something will come to the surface. And again, it will depend on how we navigate. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the tarot. We're going to use the before tarot, the current tarot, and the after tarot. I'm just shuffling up this deck first here. Something told me to grab this deck. We're not there yet, but this is the Sun and Moon tarot. And the reason why I'm feeling this deck right now is because, well, the Sun and the Moon, you know, Sun is divine masculine, the Moon is divine feminine energy. And I think we're kind of feeling the effects, of course, of the eclipse we had back in April. I was talking about how the next few months would be really significant. And to me, it was the full moon in Sagittarius. So that's coming up. And then I think the next one is going to be Mercury retrograde in August. Something tells me those dates are pretty significant. So let's now take a look at the before tarot. So the before tarot are the images, you know, from our recent past. So we can look at what you may have been experiencing in the recent past between you and your person. So we're going to take a look at what's in your headspace, your person's headspace, your heart space, their heart space, overall energy and underlying energy. And of course, feel free to swap sides if it makes more sense, okay? Let's get into this deep reading because I have a feeling it's going to go there. So in your headspace previously, there's the Eight of Pentacles. You're in the process of doing some work. And I want to remind you, you're not here to work hard. You're here to work smart. Don't overdo yourself. Don't do too much. Less is more. Keep things simple right now. Because the more you overdo something, the more you're going to get resistance. And there's the Emperor. Okay, this is the thing. The Emperor energy is calm, cool, collected, and makes power moves. And I've been talking about this a lot lately, especially. You're not here to make lateral moves. The Emperor does not play around. This is not going from one thing to the other, displacing from left to right, right to left. This is not making backwards moves. Going backwards only takes you to energy that you don't really want. And this is the difficulty because we love to somehow want to recreate the past. And yet the past was not necessarily so comfortable or so great because even that happiness was before things hit the fan. And you don't want to go to a time where you're in ignorance is bliss, maybe, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have that tower moment. Who wants to go through those moments again? So you've got to be careful about which direction you make moves. If you're going to make a move, make one that's going to bring you a reward, not more pain, But again, it's perspective. And sometimes maybe we need to experience things in order to do different, right? Or you have to do it enough times to not do it again. So let's take a look at your person's headspace in the previous days. There's too many cards flipping over here. And we have, okay, Three of Swords. Three of Swords is sadness. It's heartbreak. It feels like your person might be going through it emotionally. And I think more than likely you may be too, just based on what I know recently about the energies. The Ten of Swords here is this energy that says dead, done, and over with, and this is the preparation for that. Things aren't really ending yet in this energy, but it may be approaching that, okay? So let's see what's been going on in your heart space. Ace of Cups. There's been this need to fill your own cup, to put yourself first emotionally. And I like that. You should be filling your own cup. And the Queen of Pentacles, the card that I feel we get every week, there's the offering of the pentacle to her, and the snake isn't a bad image here. I mean, this is life force. This is Kundalini awakening, the energy going up your chakras. It's the opportunity for something more stable. But how do you get that stability? You fill your own cup. Stability doesn't come from somebody else filling the cup for you, because that's an illusion of someone filling up the cup for you. They can't possibly, right? You have to do it yourself. In your person's heart space, there's the illusion of mental entrapment. So a lot of overthinking. And the Page of Pentacles, it's almost like your person might be thinking about an offer or how to put out an offer. Maybe they're studying and learning something and they're trying to process it. This is also recognition. Maybe they're recognizing something. Like I said, I'm curious when we get to the current and the after, because we're going to get towards maybe the full moon energies next week. Because again, a week from now, we'll be in the thick of that full moon energy. Overall, there's the Wheel of Fortune. I've been seeing that card a lot, so it doesn't surprise me. Growth, expansion, good luck. Jupiter energy, Page of Wands, getting ready to throw caution to the wind. If I'm not mistaken, that does feel like Sagittarius energy, where it's like we're going to embark on something, an adventure, something creative. Underlying energy, well, there's Sagittarius energy right there. This is that passion in the pants, that hot and cold energy. The thing about this is that we want it to maintain itself, and we really don't know with this card, because it can ride in quickly, but it can also leave just as fast. So ultimately, we would like it to ride in hot and stay hot. Now with that, we have here the Page of Swords. Spying or observing. Be careful with the energetic chasing. It feels like somebody might be watching and wanting to ride in very quickly. And like I said, if that's the case, we want it to maintain itself. So now let's go to the current energy and see what we need to know. The High Priestess. Okay, signs and synchronicities, ascension. But you know what I always say about signs and synchronicities? Yes, they mean something. Yes, angel numbers are helping to guide you. I truly believe in that. At the same time, be careful what you're associating with your signs. Okay. Now, angel numbers can tell you you're on the right track. Yes, ones mean new beginnings, and twos mean building and partnerships, and threes mean teaching and learning. Ascended masters, fours, angels are with you, five, big changes ahead, and so on and so forth. Those are great things. However, if you're getting signs and you're attributing to, well, I saw their birthday and this must mean this is it and they're the only one for me, or I see their name everywhere and it has to mean it's them, you have to ask yourself, what does that really mean? Does that mean wait? Does that mean pull yourself backwards? Or does it mean smile, giggle at the universe and say, thank you, and then keep on going? Because a lot of the times, to me anyways, it's testing. It's really just testing to see whether you're in the old or the new. I think there's a reality aspect to it too. And I always say, is the car in the driveway? Because you can get all the signs and synchronicities in the world. It doesn't necessarily mean that it confirms that someone is the be all end all, because I know from experience that you can love many people for different reasons. Many people can be the one. It doesn't have to be one specific person. That sometimes is us trying to control the outcome, and I know the heart wants what it wants. At the same time, there's a reason why so many people get sparked by someone at specific times in their life. It's to push you forward and to learn lessons and to learn how to put yourself first. And that's what we were talking about with that Ace of Cups. It's about making boundaries. It's about knowing what you like and what you don't like, and being comfortable in your own skin and being able to say no, not only to a relationship or to family, friends, colleagues, whatever it is. It's about really learning boundaries and putting yourself first. And so, yes, the signs and synchronicities are intense. I believe you. At the same time, again, it's all about perspective and what you attribute them to be or what you want them to be. And so the Magician, this is the thing, communication. You have to be very clear in your communication. If you're sitting on the fence, you're dangling your foot on one side and the other on the other side, you're not being clear. You're asking for more confusion. And I think sometimes we're afraid to ask for what we want because we're afraid we're going to be disappointed. We're afraid we're not going to get what we want. And you have to learn to be confident in what you're asking for, who you are, what you're saying, so that things can come to you. I'll always give the example, most people are very confident in their work life, their career. That's why they manifest these things that come to them, because you believe in yourself. You're good at what you do. It's more so in the love department that people doubt themselves, and then they don't manifest the things that they want, and they wonder why it's not happening. You have to wholeheartedly believe it, not just say it. So communication is key right now. And, again, I'm talking about the full moon quite early, but at the same time, I can't help it. We're going to be in Gemini season. This is the energy that says communicate, right? And in your person's headspace here, the Ace of Wands, I love this. This is a spark. This is a passionate new beginning. This is a purpose. It's a fire. And the Ten of Cups, happiness. It's one thing to ask for happiness, another thing to allow it. 1010 could be an angel number you're seeing. There's another 10 here. We're seeing these completions, right? And I always say this about the Wheel of Fortune. Don't fight the shift. Those of you that fight the shift will be stuck, right? Sometimes we just have to let the shift happen and see where it takes us. We can't be afraid of the unknown. I know that that's natural and that's human. At the same time, we have to embrace what's meant for us. We can't try to control it. When we try to control something, it resists, it runs away, and look at these two. This is happiness, right? So we want that spark. We want that happiness. So what a nice positive change between the recent energies to current. And here's the Four of Swords, truce. Typically, I don't think of the word truce when I think of the Four of Swords, but I will say this based on the card. There's been conflict lately. Conflict within self, conflict maybe with others, a pissy kind of energy, an argumentative kind of energy. And this is basically saying, take a rest, take a break, relax, let things pass, feel whatever you gotta feel. But at the same time, you just gotta take a breather. So right now, if you're feeling the need to rest, do it. And there's the Prince of Wands. There's that Knight of Wands, that passion in the pants. Okay, so we've had this twice now. We're getting very strong Sagittarius energy. And again, it feels like that full moon energy. Now, here's the thing. There might be this energy within you right now that says, I want to go in hot. I want to do this, 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 and this. And then at the same time, the Four of Swords here is kind of going, but I need to rest. But I need to heal. Be very careful with avoidance, and I'll put it to you this way. I think a lot of times we talk about our person being avoidant. Like, for example, if you're listening to this right now and you say, well, I'm dealing with somebody who's avoidant, they're emotionally unavailable, they are, not expressive, they're not being clear with me, and that's something you crave, well, then you kind of have to look at this energy too within yourself, because you might be avoidant as well, just maybe in different ways, because sometimes that Prince of Wands or that Knight of Wands energy wants to ride in quickly for something, right? We want to avoid the process. We want to ignore the steps that we need to take, just hoping that if we ride in quickly, we'll make it happen, we'll manifest it. But again, are you wholeheartedly believing in yourself? Are you coming in with the right tools? Because the Magician here says you have all the tools, you have all the resources. And so if you're just riding in quickly yourself without taking the time to heal or taking the time to process or even to feel rested, then what are the chances that things are going to go your way? And the reason I say that is this. This is an energy that can be impulsive. It can be do first, think later. And when we have tensions running high, like we do right now, or this, kind of pissy energy, it doesn't make for great conversations. It doesn't make for smooth sailing. It actually brings, fights, arguments, difficult situations where we like kick ourselves later, like, why did we do this? And I don't know if any of you have felt that recently, where it's like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that. And you put your foot in your mouth, or whatever it is. This is that kind of energy. And what I've been saying about this full moon coming up, and I'll probably repeat myself when I do a full moon video, is, to me, this feels like an energy where somebody's just going to lose their temper. They're just going to lose it, and they're going to say things. And my advice is to let the other person be the one who does that, not you. It's better to lean back right now and to observe and to work on your healing and your resting so that you can process, because whatever's going to be revealed in this upcoming energy, it's going to be your reaction that makes the difference. That's just how I feel right now. So let me know if this resonates with you. But my advice would be very careful right now with losing your temper, because I don't know if it'll fully benefit you. But again, sometimes we have to go through the experience to learn it ourselves, right? Now, in your person's heart space, we have Five of Swords. This is my point. There's conflict. And this is where we say, look, we got to put the swords down. We got to let go of this fight or this battle and go towards peace. Because essentially, if we had the Six of Swords here, we would have moving on to calmer waters and peace. This is the energy just before that. This is where it's like, gotta let go a little bit. No more fights. No more headaches. We don't want those headaches. For what reason do we want this? Why do this to ourselves? And I would just say that sometimes lately what I'm noticing is that there's this energy of like, what am I going to worry about when I have nothing to worry about? So if you don't have conflict, then it has to be created somewhere, and you don't want to be in that energy, because it's not going to bring you what you want. It's just going to bring more of what you don't want. So just be mindful of that. And see, Six of Wands. I said Six of Swords, but I like Six of Wands. Six of Wands is victory. Right? This is saying, I've made it. This is like, hallelujah. I've made it through that tough time. I made it through that storm. And that's a good thing. Okay, we want that. So we want the Ace of Wands, that spark, that purpose, that passion, right? We want that happiness. We want to put down the swords and we want to have victory, but it takes effort to do that, right? And let me just summarize over here too. You have all the tools to communicate clearly. Be mindful of how you use those tools. You're getting the signs and synchronicities. Don't mold them to what you want them to be. You have to look at them with discernment. You got to be mindful of the hot and cold energy that either is coming from you or the other person, and allow yourself to heal or take a time out. Don't get caught up in anything that could be a battle. Okay? Now, overall energy, Nine of Pentacles, feeling good in your own skin. Self-worth, self-value, self-respect, gaining something. This is what I was saying to you earlier. If you're going to make a move, gain something from it. Don't do something for the sake of doing it and you get nothing out of it. And there's the Tower. You know, I can feel that the Tower energy is just rumbling because, well, in some cases, it's necessary. If we're not listening, we're going to get the Tower moments. And the nice thing is that the Tower moments will actually help you gain something if you pay attention and you listen. You know, the sunflowers here, this is like a yes card. So feeling good about yourself comes from having these moments, believe it or not. They may not feel good in the moment, but they'll bring you something better if you allow yourself to rebuild. Underlying energy, beautiful, Ace of Swords. So look at these aces, right? Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords. We had the Ace of Cups earlier. Those are all the possibilities of brand new beginnings. Truth, clarity, epiphanies, especially of this full moon that's coming up next week. And the Lovers. The Lovers is a deep soul connection. It's a decision in love. You may get some clarity about your connection, and that sounds lovely, you know? Just mind how you respond. And, oops, I grabbed the wrong deck. Let me use the After Tarot. It's almost like I was trying to go backwards with the Before Tarot. Interesting, interesting. I talked about that earlier. You don't want to go backwards. I feel that's the collective energy right now a little bit, is that there's this, I've been talking about it, it's like this magnetic pull, you know, the magnet can pull you backwards and it can pull you forwards. It depends on which one you prefer, you know. Let's take a look at the after. Let's look at the energies you may experience in the coming days. So in your headspace, we have here, see, Four of Wands, 1111, Ascension. Beautiful. New beginnings. That's exactly what we want. And there's the Five of Wands. Five of Wands also is a card of conflict, and they're putting down the rods here. This is saying, I don't want to be in conflict anymore. I would rather be in celebration mode. You know, I'd rather be happy. I'd rather celebrate. Now, in your person's headspace, this just popped over right away, and this is the Seven of Cups, but the Seven of Cups version where we've made a decision about something and we're reaping the rewards. You know, I feel like there's this sort of indecisive energy lately where it's like someone just doesn't know what to do. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling of being lost. On the other hand, all we can do is just make a decision and see what happens. And I think there's a lot of fear in the air right now of actually how to make the decision, how to do something, how to accomplish something. You know, it doesn't mean anybody's stuck. It just means we got to take baby steps or find ways to make it happen. You know, anything is possible. And with this, we have, you know, we're getting all these tens. We had the Ten of Swords earlier, and look, this is now saying that the trouble is like over, because look, here's the decision being made, there's the reward, the treasure, there's the Ten of Swords, and it's almost like, I don't want to say carrying you know, it out, but I would just say this is like saying, okay, we've officially ended something now. Now we can allow the new energies in. And in your heart space, we have here another five. See, look at all these fives. 555, big changes ahead, Tower moments. This is saying you're not going to cry over spilled milk anymore. Because the Five of Cups can be a bit of victim mentality. It can be a why did this happen? Why me? And it's like, it's not happening, you know, to you, it's happening for you. And I say this as somebody who's been there. Trust me, I know what it feels like. But this is saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'd rather be in a feeling of victory or new energy that is safer and happier. And look at these two. You know, they have the whole world in their hands right here. This is saying Two of Wands going to leave the comfort zone and make a decision to be in the new, not in this energy. And look at the Wands energy here, you know, on your side. That's that fire. And, you know, again, we're going towards the Sagittarius full moon. And in your person's heart space, we have the Two of Pentacles. Now, 2 could be an angel number. You're seeing this is about simplifying your life, not having the difficulties as before, you know. And as I've been saying a lot lately, less is more. You don't have to work so hard. It's not hard work. It's work smart. It's being efficient. And, oh, I just love this. I love how these readings, you know, come to a certain point where you can see the rainbow at the end of the storm. You know, the 10 of Pentacles, another 10. We're cutting through so much, you know, completion here. 10 of Pentacles is tangible fulfillment. It's like having your pentacles aligned, you know, your abundance, your finances, your family, your relationship, your home. It's like saying, I've simplified my life and now things feel better. But again, it takes time to do that, right? Now, overall energy, Queen of Cups, trusting your intuition more, following your heart more, not overgiving like you used to. And, oh, 222. I just love the way this is ending. This is beautiful. It always comes around, you know. Look, there's the Two of Cups. There's the embrace. There's the safety, the comfort, and the security. But how do you get to 2 cups? You get to 2 cups through 1 cup. You start with 1 and you go to 2. Fill your cup. You bring your best, they bring their best. And if someone can't bring their best, then you continue giving your best until you have somebody matching that energy. And underlying energy, beautiful. The 3 of Pentacles is collaboration, working together, and going to the next level, a leg up to the current situation. So this tells me we are shifting. But I kind of feel like, before I pull this last card, I'm kind of curious, but what I want to say, it's like almost this energy lately where people feel so tested before the finish line. They want to give up before the finish line. They don't feel they have the energy. They don't feel they have the power. They don't feel that they have it in them. And again, I want to remind you, every day's a new day. The sun will always rise. This too shall pass. I say this from my heart, because the one thing I want for everybody is happiness, comfort, stability, and the best of the best of the best. And sometimes that means me being a bit of hard-ass Kelly. You know, it's not easy to do, but it comes from my heart, and I want it for you all so much. You have no idea, because I know how you feel. I've been there. I got the receipts, but I don't live in that old story anymore, and I don't want you to either. The Hermit energy is basically saying, you search your soul, you find the enlightenment, you take the time to rest as you need it, because this is a bit of isolation. If you've been feeling a bit isolated lately, it's okay, but recognize you can't be isolated forever. You need to come out of that situation. You need that upgrade to flourish, okay? So, that being said, let me take a card here, excuse me, on each side with this other Moonology deck. For you, we have here, release the blocks, whatever's holding you back, okay? Don't get in your own way. And for your person, you know, it's interesting, and you might say, well, I don't want them to do nothing. I want them to do something. I want them to make moves. Here's the thing. Sometimes less is more. And so this is saying, let something pass, or let something, like you know, that energy, just like let it be a little bit, and then move yourself, okay? And the other card I want to take here is the True Heart Hidden Feelings Oracle cards. Let me say something that I know is not going to be easy to say. I just have to say it though. Just because you want somebody to do something doesn't mean they have to do it. I always say don't should on anyone. You know, if you want someone to make a move, you have to recognize that it's their mind, their body, their soul, just like yours is yours. And you don't like anybody telling you what to do. So, in other words, if someone feels right now that they want to sort of just like, take some time to regroup themselves, there's not much you can do, right? You got to let them just be in that moment. Most of the time, they'll come out of that. But if you're forcing it or you're pushing or you're nagging somebody, they're going to continue to avoid, okay? So let them do whatever they need to do for themselves, just like you. Release your blocks. And let's just take one from this deck here. Promises. Look, nothing that's meant for you is ever going to pass you by. This is hard to believe it's real. And I find that one of the difficulties in relationships is that we often question, is this real? Am I delulu? Am I really experiencing this? Do they really love me? And I will tell you something from what I do every day, and that is, it's never about the love. It's never about whether somebody loves you or cares about you. It has to do with their capacity, their traumas, triggers, and hurts, how they feel about themselves. It's never about how they feel about you. We have to stop taking these things so personally, even though I know it's difficult. And with that, we have altered. So this says changes their mind often, possibly unreliable. And so, this energy lately in particular has been very up and down, hot and cold. And that's what I was saying to you about that Knight of Wands earlier, that passion in the pants. It can ride in very quickly and leave just as fast. So in theory, what we really want here, okay, is to allow things to unfold naturally, as difficult as that is, okay? And just to tie it all together, let's take a card to connect both sides. Why? Everybody's asking why. And maybe right now we just have to let things unfold naturally. And maybe that's the do nothing aspect here, So I really hope this resonates with you. I know that these energies aren't the easiest and there's a lot to process here. I do think there are a lot of really good things coming, but I think that there's a lot to just let unfold. And boundaries are always key. Getting out of your own way. All this Gemini energy coming up about this who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's complicating things. You can see it in the cards. We don't have to make things so complicated. So, again, thank you for your time. I always appreciate your likes, your comments, your subscribes. It really means the world to me. We are going to be doing a full moon Zoom next Friday. It isn't on my website yet, but it will be soon. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing day.